We would be remiss if we didn't recognize also two veterans from U.S. Armed Forces who's also perished. Senator Adalbert Aleluy passed away 2 years ago. Please give a round of applause. Also, my first cousin, Pedro Lumong, who passed away, is buried in Savannah, Georgia. Thank you. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce you His Excellency Taito Rorida Adarbelao, President Chanson Toribiong.
Let me say I'm proud, honored, and thankful to be the President of the Republic of Palau at this time in the history. And we're in Guam, the closest US soil to Palau. So I'd like to say thank you to the United States President Barack Obama, to Governor of Guam, including former Governor Carl Gutierrez, the Speaker, and the people of Guam for being a wonderful host to our people who live here in Guam. Palau is so blessed to be in free association with the United States, without which we cannot be a sovereign state as we are today. So first of all, I'd like to say thank you to all of you here in Guam. Without your support, I wouldn't be here today as your president. Let's thank God for creating for us, our young nation, and bringing us to this point in history as a sovereign nation. For those who don't know, I went to Washington, D.C. with Senator Quiteres, High Chief Reclay, a retired Marine Corps veteran, to celebrate the victory of the Americans in Palau, which took us away from the Japanese colonial rule and brought us to our independence. Former Governor Carl Gutierrez, I went to Washington, D.C. to attend a memorial service for 6 American airmen whose remains were discovered in Palau near the KB Bridge. They were identified by name, they got their dog tags, they were shot down over Palau about 6 a.m. December 1, 1944, and their remains were recovered in 2010. While in Washington at the Arlington Cemetery, I spoke before the gathering. There was the last widow, was 88 years old, a surviving son, 68, and several nephews and nieces. It was a very emotional ceremony. And I said to the gathering, I came to pay my respect and to thank the American young soldiers who came to Palau in World War II to liberate us from the colonial rule of the Japanese Empire and allowed us to become independent. So for that, I want to thank the Americans. If not for the Americans, Palau would be the southernmost island of the Japanese Empire. You know, the lady who was then the director of New Zealand, Australian Pacific Affairs, Madame Alcy Frillick, said to me, Johnson, you're wrong. It would have been Tasmania. Anyway, we are here today because of the United States, and I'm so proud of that. Malungil sil silmarbek laar belaw ng atyang, agure nga suliw, lelak kamiw ang kimlak mutial rual, makmalure nga suliw. Elal Clotermur, Tiathim Rangaga, Marseille was a moving forward to a better and more secure future. Toral Batuluel, Morselungil, Esel Baak Klugug. Asencure Gamiya Momalilt, Radia Asal Malngak, Ma Vice President Toribiong-Mariur, Secretary Rarmurt, como Malil tra future Gamiyo. Ako to Global Goal, a future ar nga ligid. Yakal sal gid. Makoto Global Goal a school. Mr. Abok President, acknowledging labek to school rebelaw. Ren ayangal, magyuk tumata hospital, mo-oreor, mablilyaw mga yaur, masonsorol, mapulawana, mahato obey. Personally. Legum na siya school, arulya blue rebelaw, almawngir at taraklapsi. Serakua obis, Ralgra school, public schools, agiril haraw lancertir. El alsils, alans public schools are free from elementary all the way to high school. Diyan so akal rebela akal laun level makita schoolen. Mu obis, erangal kang along babal daw pamring tira mura high school, lindim na kaungil bas. El altime en remur tabas. Liu clear giu kimada hospital, el Morapala High School, Mungila School. Kim ngu obis, agim no sigi a 1.5 million US grant will promote a college education rangal gra school rebelaw. Kim ngu obis, aknora murura dormitory, 24-room dormitory, el moral gra blilyo, mangayaur, mangayangal, mas southwest. Dia kablay lebol keringi albera pala high school, dia kaltalom oklaul lebol mangita schoolir. El altay ya building amaral mod or, dia sa 6 months ang bomre. At ko na school ang patlaw tutelel. At Nora Harris, ito lingit mo siya basketball court tir lamado. Manglamado. A school ramuns, el altay magiwa mga daw ringi. A school ako to cloud tutelel. A pala high school el altay ma accredited. Tomara to ko era a held. Gimu obis, dimla ka CD scanner belaw, nga niya imol CD scanner nga ringi 1 slice per second. Agimla ka diya CD scanner 16 slices per second. Agimla ka da 10 hemodialysis ro ospital. Ma X-ray, mabibirrak lagdal, makar, manda ka wala ka akar ospital, o sisiul time, agigift mag-claim ang lola, a national health insurance. Limna ka lang nga ramong, ilang lamola, itirigay mo-odal da kaloryor, akabalmenta pia premium sertir. Sentila Senator Diaz, o para grupo na huliping, at harar ka up to $25,000. Direct declare a war against NCD, non-communicable diseases. Ay girak taldangay logi wa lifestyle git, ma diet git. If na require Palau Ministry of Education, ma health, matamlagot mag-clear curriculum, promote a healthy lifestyle. Ilmarangal ka na balur belaw. Dahil sungguh na siya smer, hindi ka sa edrotia belaw, ilmawagil belu. Kapag ito ko na environment, agim mo obis, nga niya la ara recycling edi kaloryor, magim ni promulgate the regulations, men all time abor belaw, hindi ka tigra baya, tama plastic barrel at kularan, the imoringi award of 5 cents on cash, o mul more sale recycling center ra emdak. Kukungir rasumum, malubeng arumrum. Agi direct na mo like marine sanctuaries, liwikli belaw, conserve ang igil maalit. I got 16 states belaw. Igilt McLean mo reor sel ula green fees. Maatra mo blue sel mer belal tomo ding halawra $15. Esenkle la green fee. Mo help support higel protected areas network. Magimla udili ang lakra 4 million, yudur klia 1.5 million el morsel account belaw nga rapolabe lo motoring indwa saying Micronesian Conservation Trust Fund. Ang mo grown mo 6 million, kudururingin mo 12 million. Olangil, manubin proceeds niya mo take care environment trablur belaw. About 2 weeks ago, Vice President Toribiong-Mariur amne dispersed 450,000 mura gen 9 states trablur belaw na mereka igel pan management plan sa til. 7 states ang mokre elang. Patukara environment tawngil maray lagi direct mokla a hatcheries ra tamagay matiaw rarbay malal mamayas rablu ray. At tukoy raseres tablal sodi Alfonso nirungay medaklutan sa ngi ending laptol liu samdal berbelaw lagi promote economic self-sufficiency. Ya below the asab dingil magli at asab claim to be independent. Among the most fundamental rights that we can consider is the right to be free from hunger. Mag-promote at tukoy ra the lomel misarak para Israel alastir yagulan tir at technology. At time tergel scientist Israel oral na betul belaw eradicate a fruit flies na tomal larot rablur belaw. Ato ba to ko mangit isa gimu obis e Amerika la haraw be a Pacific at 21 million sa tarak. Of that, 15% ringi mo ragel 16 Pacific nations equal. 85% ringi obi ragel states again nations mga ringi. Mabelaw paltigay lungulen dimlek medal 200,000 then dimalasel equal share sel 15% ringi. El alta magin la negotiate to la Miguel misel 21 million na mo 45 million el arak ya next year mo 63 million. Then na mo deka tol trangi tol tra fishing days. A fishing days sel mo torgi was a vessel day scheme VDS. Talutua agel percenters sa mo dura bela Pacific. They used to pay 1,500 lagi agim na angaringin mo 5,000. But can no rak agim le mekra 700,000 rala igel fishing days PNG Papua New Guinea aul maarab lur belaw le tulak kemra igel sir o mangit tul maara igel sir belaw tim laklaw spe, so we made more money selling our fishing days than what United States paid to Palau. Idirek le pay niluwak 100,000 ra shabal ra sela wanir negotiate sell right tir ngar o mangit ra blur belaw. Ego ay silwase blur belaw ang lo sabel malaya raw otra shabal tarag ngar erul dartel telael lom ala rula patrol boat rigil sel harwor malig el aragat tiluta extender ngil 1 full year ya NGO ra shabal klela sa Sakawa Peace Foundation amis kita kegrel patrol boat ng klela kabegel metal hara alul 8 years o daw spe ngil dilet lon nga sew mangkara tabel belaw madungura tukor omnged ya belaw ngila osis belaw do del mergi sa para UN ra 209 le promote ra concept ra OTEC Organization of Tuna Exporting Countries tiang follower sale OPEC ra gidol tra petroleum makimot Michael 8 Pacific Nations nganya Solomon Islands, Papua New Guinea, Palau, FSM, Marshalls, Marshalls, Kiribati, Tuvalu, and Nauru. Michael 8 nations. Amlot magit promote ra otrola tuna lumara bululab al control price ni. Matunguro amay dungil marala tukor amay. Otomat tukor atengi sarak mo obis semita tengi bakmet change rabor tekut clean mongil haraken uwe haram ang manager ringi masyabal makukita tablol misira dengi capacity ringi ya 10 kilowatt el almera keng mekmer da belaw isral boringi ya tamla dengi belaw ya syabal am le offer ringi la klawal misira generators at time belaw la dengi ngil marael at para sewer yakin la ruli yakin lang walon ra Asian Development Bank, Toribiong-Mariur at member of Board of Governors, maging ito 16 million, erulia al-adal Dr. Ngil was a water sewer corporation. At appoint Governor Oreor, Mayray, Mniwal, Majan Ngilaged Jr., Felix Francisco, Maatra Board Ringi, a loan of 28 million. Loan ngila 1%, payable for the next 30 years. Yak pamala ringi September, around September, el-momru rakmal closed sewer system. Accommodate tranit oreor Mayray direct lo sir babal tao subam kita sur belaw hindi ka to tao close investment tamata ng okra blur belaw jan lo merek boy le agray mariram lo attend ra ribbon cutting ceremony ra 9 low cost houses ano ka sawaw imoringi am ni 39,000 ito rule energy efficient ma development bank am le pera 9,000 and more to get new homeowners ito no pera $33,000 Almira kaki mo promote ra low cost housing rebelaw. If we can do 9, we can do 900 or 90. Think kiran mo nga low cost housing rebelaw del lungi la dengi, lungi laral, lungi laray del mitabli de katabu. Direct to promote ra to fiber optic. A fiber optic aktol tutele la magim na secure. Raw right to maarsel fiber optic nga ra Guam mer murtel mara northern Luzon. Yaknora Bola Bay negotiate lo bangela FSM Telecom. Tumloon ra one-third ra kumbali giblam reling klela CCC se Caroline Cable Corporation ya FSM mo ara 1/3 de mama 2/3 e kadmo install se gidal fiber optic ra Guam al merbelaw ya imora branch ringi amora blue up e kadto spe ringi da sugo ngita fiber optic ya bela da asap el compete economically ngi mablul up si time ngita to ra school maugru e fiber optic akmal those period al time promote the development. Direct lasmi garolel a solar power systems obra airport raira ngali sel solar panel ngara parking lot ngali ngara education ngali ngara capital ngali ngara hospital ol nga seurigi tra ating kirgi de those pe ati elasil se bruri el al time se oreol atungul mara revenue agil tax ra blur belaw sila kimu obis ra 209 ya belam nek alekta 33 million el arrak is of August 31st ikatam nak alekta 45 million more than $10 million more than when we took office atungura atokoira a tourism ikadirect mamla angar ni lesera 2009 era merbelaw 71,887 ya last year in the 109,057 al-adam nera blue belaw a direct struck was say ngaliya lal makatmok to create what we call open ship registry sermu like commercial vessels ra blue up bang mo sabael los spare sel bandera nga belaw e haraw ko del mergit sentla flag of convenience ma next week ra Singapore and bang inaugural registration Ratablol maklol passenger liners. Almost pera banderang rebelaw, magkatid ang ok, lem super shake el fee, aral sel banderang rebelaw, lo sebegeringi. Legal dial la lorala blue, and you are human being, you are rebelaw, lo pera passport. At tourism am lamran man mongil, wasil dila Senator Diaz, serak pura New York, ekturwa siya declare rebelaw mo first world shark sanctuary, Ikatamit pick up malplol advertisement trablul ad BBC CNN may gerogul famous television channels amne promoter belaw umlo ula bela malok pla tourism belaw o si siul tayo ng anyak tol NGO ra New York Pew say amne anor belaw pay purchase cycle immigration forms LD free yung may sa belaw sel makogin belaw sel form mo mesengi ang anya tokoy was say welcome to the world's first shark sanctuary yung anya ko shadow shark sel form ay kedil donate sel Pew sel NGO ra Miguel el merablu belaw at tokoy ra tourism malungil marael soklo si el altama belaw ang anya 35 skogil melander ngira bekluik Over belaw ang anya jetway sa Guam si NMI and di para entire Pacific el daklo di bukringa New Zealand Australia and di imol Fiji YC ay kel bebera blura Pacific ada kata tilo jetway sa mga proud ra blur belaw para to kora infrastructure beto kana mo merek ra blur belaw longal mol mutro oro ra maralaw ringi bal mutrar bay mala radit may gel connecting roads mura compact tamda kabal gul go ais ko bay mer belaw ko momes direct dabora ablura maralong Emda mo mereka raringil completely mit andiral malobal morsel tang en mora blue ngorlong. Ora ra katengel moringi arael de connect mora mortial chloride ngarmitel molmu tratirak molmu ngarbeef mayibukul ma ngabala marbay mala lam sertugil mar ngabala. Engay kel moktol building na modor lobisra marine resources lomgorola atiaw matamagay magim maamang. Ito para ira ko mga lames. Kami ito para akampak. Akampak tamle ko tilmring challenge il mergamam. Jadi daw ul. Sergi mu obis. Yang esram ni kel mebelaw at zero. Negirel mo zero ra October 1 at 2009. Then sige na endra first 15 years. Ang legit mala at zero el al-sils en ngari agreement langaran tali US Congress 250 million kita malamol mamalar sel direct assistance el dollaringi ra 209 sel 15th year malaringi mel nutre ang lo pangira ke rogul federal grants ma programs egebol deduct sel package ram tali US Congress 250 million maulo mangungilaran mamar el al-sils kami kukir Omgo man tinakip mit uli sel 250 million may get federal grants. Et tengahnya semerial mormur termortial obis kelelak. Lebelam am lelus rahmal klolu do. Mga kaswak di summarize ra eksira kampak trablur belaw. With your indulgence and let me summarize our history. Before the Europeans came to Palau, we lived in our own world in isolation. The Spaniards came, they introduced us to Christianity. When Spain lost to the United States acquired Guam, the Philippines, Puerto Rico, and Spain sold the rest of the islands of Micronesia to Germany, including Palau. Spain came to Palau. They were excavating phosphate from Angaur, promoting the cultivation of coconut, exporting copra, and ruled Palau with an iron hand. The last governor of Germany was named Winkler. When he left Palau in 1914, he took with him his wife, who was a Palawan woman, named Ribong, who died in the late 70s in Germany. The Japanese arrived in Palau in 1914 and left after World War II. And to those who don't know history, before the war began in 1944, there were more than 40,000 Japanese living in Palau, compared to less than 5,000 Palauans. They relocated all the Palauans to a place called the Nerdabotar. They relocated all the Palauans living in Koror to a place between Aymalig and Ngatpang known as And Palau became a Japanese city. Fortunately, the war came, or unfortunately. Pain, suffering. Many people lost their lives. The Americans sacrificed close to 3,000 young men in Palau. With 10,000 wounded. The Japanese lost more than 15,000. There are still 3,000 Japanese soldiers remains on Peleliu. And I signed a deal with Japan for them to repatriate those remains back to Japan. The United States offered the former trust territory to become the Commonwealth of the United States. CNMI accepted the proposal. Micronesia refused. Through the wisdom of Senator Lazarus Salih from Palau, he was promoting free association. And now Palau, FSM, and the Marshals are enjoying that relationship, the Compact of Free Association. It's a special and unique relationship under which we gave the United States the right to use our islands for security purposes and to have the right of denial, to deny the presence of any hostile country from our waters and land. And they gave us a lot of economic assistance. So we gave them the right and they gave us the money. It's a fair deal. They also gave us the defense protection of our islands. So I like to honor Senator Salih for being a wise politician from Palau, the father of the Compact of Free Association. May God bless his soul. If not for the efforts of another Palawan senator, Senator Romat Betul, who led the movement for separation of Palau from the rest of Micronesia, along with Congressman Policar Basilius and Isidoro Rodima. If not for the success of that movement, I wouldn't be here today. Your president would be Manny Mori of Chuk, and you'll be a state of FSM. You understand that? So I honor Senator Mutul for being the leader with a vision. Then Harwar Malik, he was the president of the Palau Constitutional Convention in 1979. I was his vice president and Kuniwa Nakamura was his floor leader. We drafted the Constitution in 60 days, the one we enjoy today. And President Ramalig was elected our first president. So I honor him as the architect of our government, our constitution, the structure of our government, which took effect on January 1, 1981. But we didn't become independent at that time because we were waiting for the Compact of Free Association to be approved, because the Constitution is only a political document. The Compact of Free Association is an economic document, a roadmap for economic development toward economic self-sufficiency. So I honor President Harwar Malik for being the architect of our constitutional government. A round of applause. We went to the polls 7 times. We couldn't approve the Compact of Free Association because of the requirement of 75% approval. Then came President Mirat Kelet Pisong, a businessman, who said, why don't we lower the requirement from 75 to 50 plus 1? He applied common sense. And he was the reason why we got the Compact approved. So let's praise Mirat Kelet Pisong for being a visionary. Then came Kuniwa Nakamura. He served for 8 years. And I think one of his major accomplishments, which is with us today, is the Guam Accord. I was a member of the commission with him, and he came to Guam, and he reached an agreement with the U.S. delegation on the Guam Accord to surface the compact road around Babaldao according to the U.S. standards, because previously it was not going to be that good. And he also got the hospital built. So I have to honor President Nakamura for his vision to improve the road around Babaldao and the hospital. Then the compact took effect on October 1, 1994, and Kuniwa Nakano took charge, and Tami Rimangsa was his vice president. During the first 15 years of the compact, Tami was vice president for 7 years and 8 as president. So when I took office, he was actually my predecessor. During his presidency, he appointed me to be his ambassador to the Republic of China, Taiwan. I worked with him. So he did 8 years. Within the first 15 years, 7 as vice president and 8 as president. I was his ambassador to the Republic of China. What's his accomplishment? The environment. He was the champion of the Micronesian Challenge to conserve land, waters, and the environment. We have now the Micronesian Challenge. We have funds in Ponape, 6 million. We have pan sites. So he goes down in history as someone who ignited the interest in the preservation of our environment. So the Vice President Toribiong-Mariur and I are standing upon their accomplishments, all these previous leaders, and are doing something for Palau. And our contribution would be to make Palau economically self-sufficient, to make Palau an investment-friendly nation like Guam, so that we can open opportunities outside of the government for our people, new employment opportunities, new business opportunities. So right now, what we're doing in Palau is to promote infrastructure, the sewer system, the water system, power, the road system, fiber optic, to lay the foundation for economic development of Palau through investment. We have the land, we have the sovereignty, we don't have the capital or the know-how. So we have to work with the outside world to bring Palau into a new level of economic achievements in this modern world. We cannot do it alone. We need investors to come to Palau and help us develop our country and bring our people back home. It's a new exodus. We have been moving out looking for the greener pastures, pursuing the American dream, but let's develop Palau and make Palau attractive enough for our children living in Guam, Saipan, and the United States to come home, because that's where you belong. Let me also say that during my term of office, we've never had any time where no one received his salary, from the national government to the state government. No one failed to receive his pension. No one failed to receive his Social Security benefit. And as long as I'm in office, we'll do just that. We guarantee that nobody who earns his salary will not get paid. At the same time, I have promoted the minimum wage for all the Palauan workers. Unfortunately, the OEK has not been cooperating. So the only thing I have been able to give to our employees is COLA, $20 bi-weekly, non-taxable, no deduction, to help relieve them from the burdens of a costly lifestyle that we have in Palau. So I like to leave 3 things with you. Number 1, your vote is very important. It's sacred. You should guard it carefully. It determines your destiny. It's not for sale. Nobody should be able to take it from you freely. It's a serious right. Don't vote for me because you're my relative. Vote for me because we share the same vision for Palau. That's number 1. Make sure you exercise your right to vote with diligence and sincerity. Number 2, we can't change the past, but we can change the future. And number 3, you can't expect a different outcome by applying the same formula. If those who were running the government over the last 15 years failed to promote Palau to become more economically self-sufficient. Do you think if you vote him in again, the outcome would be different in 2024? I think it's insane to say that you can expect a different outcome by using the same principle. Garay, Mariur, and I are the new formula. So let's move to 2024 and look back. In 2009, if Palau were a young nephew and the United States was a great uncle, we were supposed to move out of Uncle Sam's house 15 years after we were brought in. The 15th year came, we weren't prepared. And we took office. And you were able to ask the good grace of Uncle Sam to give us the next 15 years and 250 million. And the formula is for us to develop Palau to become economically self-sufficient. I think if we fail in 2024, there wouldn't be a third chance. I think the second chance is enough. So Garay, Mariur, and I have brought us this far. Our work on the compact is about to be done. Maybe by January, the US Congress will approve the compact and we get 10 million out of that to pay our prior debts. So allow us to continue to make sure the compact is approved and implemented according to its purpose to promote economic self-sufficiency for Palau. The roads around Palau are being built, not yet completed. Allow us to be in charge and complete the road construction throughout Palau. The Green Revolution, the promotion of food security is in progress. Allow us to be in office and complete the Green Revolution in Palau. The sewer system is about to be done. We got 16 million, we have 28 million more coming. Allow us to be there and complete the sewer system. The fiber optic, we got $4 million from the Congress through ADB to purchase the fiber optic from Guam to Luzon, bring it to Palau. Allow us to be in office and install the fiber optic. So, jump to 2024 and look back. Senator Mutul was our Moses. He led us out of bondage, out of the FSM. Lazarus Salih was a visionary. He promoted the Compact of Free Association, being a sovereign nation in free association with the United States. That's a wonderful deal. A small island nation and a partner of the most powerful nation on earth. That's wonderful. You know, the right to come to Guam and to the United States without a visa is an envy of the Asian world. We're so lucky to have that right. So I know Lazarus Salih. Ngrat Pisong, Arwar Malik is the architect of the Constitution. At Pisong got the compact approved. Kuniwok got our hospital, the road paved around Babaldao. Tamil Mungsaw, the environment. I ask you to make me and Garay Mariur be part of the history of Palau, to make Palau economically self-sufficient in the future for your children and our children. Tulmo tulwase akmal loreng masulira arab lubel. Chalte al no swek oiti klisi ka maul swek lo no se ora lubel. Serak para brigel mo testify. Ligel tel compact of free association. Ra June ra last year. Ramadal Cell Committee, ra Senate on Natural Energy, say Energy and Natural Resources under the chairmanship of Senator Bingaman of New Mexico. Engel ranking minority member Alaskan Senator Liza Murkowski. Testify on the Department of State, Department of Defense, Department of Interior, GAO, General Accountability Office, Mangak. Tirogui, Adi Mleoldu para compact, both the Democrats and the Republicans. Mensuak dia all taigelu ulam brigela mal support rakampak trablu delaw. Since our good governor, honorary citizen of Palau, Carl is here, I'm going to speak in English again. When I testified before the Committee on Energy and Natural Resources under the chairmanship of Senator Bingham of New Mexico and ranking member Lisa Murkowski, a Republican, a representative from the State Department, Defense, Interior, GAO testified along with myself. And they said these things which I'd like to share with you. They say the Compact of Free Association is very important, not only for Palau, but for the United States. For these reasons. Number one, they all said that Palau's location, like Guam, is strategic in terms of security of the United States. It's at the western perimeter of the Pacific. It's irreplaceable. Strategic location. Number two, many young Palauan men and women in a great number join U.S. Armed Forces and fight shoulder to shoulder with Americans in the hotspots around the world defending our rights, freedom, and democratic values. Senator Diaz mentioned a few names of those who made the ultimate sacrifice. That's number two. Number three, the Americans sacrificed so much during World War II in terms of blood and treasure. Many died in Palau. Just a month ago, Rear Admiral Cecil Haney and Kurt Campbell and I were laying wreaths at Pililiu War Memorial. Next, Palau is the most loyal friend and ally of the United States in terms of its vote in the United Nations. In terms of the voting coincidence, we vote with the United States the most than any other nation on earth. The only two nations behind us are Israel and FSM. Next, Palau is a friend of the United States, whether it rains or shines. We're not a fair weather friend. We're a good weather friend. When President Obama asked Palau to accommodate temporarily some Uyghurs, when most nations said no, Palau said yes. So when I saw President Barack Obama in New York in 2010, the first time I met him, he reached out and said, "Mr. President, thank you for the Uyghurs." So we are so blessed to have the United States as our partner, an ally and friend. So once again, I say I think Palau is blessed. We suffer so much through colonial exploitation, through the horrors of war. So I think God has looked kindly on us. We have been spared from natural disasters during my term of office. No earthquake. We had a tsunami warning recently, but it didn't hit Palau. No tsunami, no earthquake, no typhoons. There was a power outage. That's a simple matter. So we are blessed, and I commit myself to work with every Palauan, whether in Palau, Guam, Hawaii, or the United States, to make sure that at the end of my term, Palau will be on a clear path toward economic self-sufficiency. And you'll be proud of Palau. You'll be proud to be a Palauan wherever you are. And we'll be proud of ourselves as God's children. So thank you very much, and may God bless all of you here in Guam. May God bless the people of Guam and Palau everywhere. Makmal mo tunwa te al leore nga sulir adar belaw rogui ra kwa mangi diliger. Egu ay siwa se omseng kyo nga kamalak yak ti support law. Ay kel sabik. Deset mangil mo president, yak president ra adra ayangal malubeng adra malagayok, malubeng adra marumlungoy, malubeng adra bilyo. Akna check ra genealogy nga. Nakatimor ayangal adra gin bol o charity. Ragyok kumaras para. For the first time, Sera 208, it was the only time. Likiastra one voter go, electra president, ma vice president. It was the only time. Never before and never again. Maklam lo ngal tangat tanlo repray almo Toribiong Mariur. Engel Mariur malungit partner nga malklor mul imisan honest. Dia kasapin mo awat tetir. Agumdas yung malklo atangal. Nagkeulan. Bakil mo tulungit na senkyon mo ringi, lengi direk mo rang ayangal, adringil mo rablilyo. Nakang-ayangal mo mutra ngayaw. Yogiwa abi le mora sonsorol, raantir nga, el mora at obe. Yakan lak kiragwam marang aramo, makmadangali abluragwam, malungit ekirgid. So let me close my remarks by extending on behalf of the Palawan people living in Guam our profound gratitude and appreciation and thanks to the governor of Guam, Eddie Calvo, and all the governors before him, and Speaker Judith Wanpat, and all the speakers before her, and all the people of Guam and the United States for being a great neighbor and a great host to our people who have come to Guam to look for a new opportunity and new life. Thank you, Guam. May God bless Guam. Kuman masaulit ko te alle gure nga sulit kirgero guil adam ngartial Guam al nangat mok tial sils akadam nangat mok mas stays may garro guil tento may gel imel merulay kagidul galder roguy ko mal masaul. Dia kasi kung te suliw hindi sumak mangilt ra primary ra September 25 aktul mutel May direct ba Luis ma Frederick ma Winhart ma Alisa mal mutel baby ra singers ego mal masaul ara ko ang artiang aktuang imodibus engel sawal senkyo mo segidel basyo yo ngitra palotni. May God bless all the people of Palau wherever they are in the Republic of Palau.
Yagarabalu